Okay, I believe we are live. So
Yay.
we're gonna, okay. Oh, I hear an echo. Okay, how about now? I don't hear an echo. Okay, fantastic. So good morning, everyone. I am Stacy Krolak with Sip with Stacy, and I have the amazing, beautiful Kashana Guzman on this morning from Florida, hails from the great state of Florida. And I couldn't be happier. And what's so fun is we both wore red.
Yes. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Clink, clink, Stacy. I got my little
So
teacup. Oh,
yes,
I think, I don't know if you can
let
see
me see
it.
your teacup. I have mine.
You see it or no? I have my R-Pack teacup. Super excited to be joining you. I'm so honored. Thank you so much for having me. It's exciting to speak about life and goals and girl chat. So I'm excited.
Definitely, definitely. So everyone out there, get your teacups and get ready to join us and hear the good news why I shine a light on Kashana this morning. So I just a little recap. The idea behind our Sip with Stacy live stream is just to take a deep dive into the mission, vision, and values of wonderful women within our organization. And we remember that we always lift as we climb up our leadership ladder. And so I could not be more excited to hear about her mentors, her lift as she climbs in her leadership role, and exactly what she's doing in her communities and her involvement. So without further ado, Kashana, tell us a little background about yourself and how you became a Women's Council member.
Yes, absolutely. Again, thank you so much for the opportunity to connect with you and share this platform with you. I actually became a Women's Council member about 5 years ago. And it was funny. I had joined the Women's Council right away as soon as I went to the first event. And I had joined two other organizations as well locally after becoming a realtor. And I was looking for something more. I was thinking to myself, I don't just want a realtor that sells houses. I want to be able to give back in some way, shape, or form, be involved. And finding the Women's Council, I also joined the local chamber and I joined a NAREP. And I found that the biggest imprint that I could leave and the biggest way that I can make an impact was through the council. And
Okay.
so I kind of pulled the membership from the other ones and I put all my eggs in this basket. And it has been such an incredible journey. And finding just other women around the country that believe not only in the council, but in empowering women as a whole in business, in real estate in our industry. It can be so lonely, it could be a place where, especially if you're not connected to a strong brokerage or if you're not, connected to, if you don't even know how to pace your footing, it could be something that you just kind of get lost in, and building your business and then working and all the different roles that we play, the different hats that we have, whether it's through church or mom or wife or all of that. And I found that Women's Council, being able to connect with other women that share my journey, that not only are building their business as well, but you see some that have been so much further in their business that can reach out to you and extend the hand and pull you up. And, just really finding women that echo that breed of like iron sharpens iron. And that's something that I really appreciate and value out of the council.
I love that. Iron sharpens iron.
Yes, definitely.
I love that. Well, we know that leadership is a journey, right? And it's not about a title or a position. It's the journey of a lifetime. And just really understanding the concept of the servant leadership and how that enriches our lives so much. Could you dive into the servant leadership and how that has impacted your leadership journey within the Women's Council?
Yes, absolutely. So it's funny, when I first came to Women's Council, our network looked a little bit different. And I really didn't know where to fit in, right? Like I didn't know what was needed. I didn't know what I didn't know. And I just kind of plugged into the first event that I went to. And I realized that a lot of the leaders within the organization had been serving not only within the council, but they were also powerful individuals that gave back to our community through the association and in serving in different areas. And I think that I kind of noticed this common theme that a lot of those same people had really powerful businesses, and businesses that the more that they poured out, the more that they themselves got refreshed, you know? And I think in this journey of servant leadership, it has allowed me to really understand more my blind spots, areas that I've needed work in, you know, and to be able to be transparent and like, wow, I've grown in this area, you know, just because I volunteered, let's say, for a committee. And, you know, I started to do events. And then I realized that the more events that I helped produce within our network, the more I was having an opportunity to grow in something as simple as public speaking, which could be terrifying, right, for some of us. And
Yes.
allowed me to grow so much in that area, you know? And so you start seeing that it becomes so clear why you're here. Specifically in another area that I can think of is like bringing other people along with you, you know, like in the events committee. I remember when you think to yourself, oh man, I'm the events director of this network. I have to put on these events, or I get to put on these events. I get to do so many different things, but you know, while also running your business. And again, all those different roles that we have. How does the weight become lighter? By bringing these other women with us, right? So I think in the area of servant leadership, I know that for me personally, it allows you to see why you do what you do when you're able to impact others without ever knowing it, right? You're watering other people's trees that you may never even see, know, or understand, and you yourself get watered through the process. So it's been a beautiful journey for me thus far.
Wow, Kashana, you are definitely a servant leadership. And we are so lucky to have you within the Women's Council. And that's so true. And if you even look in the little cup up here to the right, it says lift as you climb. And that, well, I guess it's the other side.
Yeah.
It's so important because I always say we need to lift, you know, the person that we're mentoring, and we're holding on to our person that is mentoring us at the same time. And we never want to break that chain. And that is what is so important about the words that you just stated. You're saying that we're watering people that we don't even realize we have an impact on. And that's what is so beautiful about being a servant leader and giving back to our community. So thank you so much for what you're doing. I mean, it's just what a blessing to have you in the council. I also today want to talk about your power of collaboration and how that has helped you within the Women's Council.
So collaboration is something that I see very, it's so critical for us to have. I've learned collaboration through different areas, both locally and on a national level. I know most recent, I took part in Leadership Institute. And I think without collaboration, without being able to be there for each other, without, you know, you can't grow alone, and you can't, you know, manage your business alone. You can't fulfill projects alone. You know, we all need each other. And I think something that Women's Council believes and values is collaboration, because no one succeeds alone. But more importantly, you know, the impactful relationships that I've had made and been able to keep within, I would say probably a handful of people that I rely on so much, came from the power of collaboration. It's either a past teammate, it's someone that was a state network president, rather, at the same time that I was a network president of my local network. And we did events across the nation together. And some of those, online virtually, because we were locked down, for a period of time during COVID. And so some of those relationships were birthed basically through the power of collaboration and through being able to connect with each other and say, hey, listen, this is something that I want to do for my network. I'm thinking about putting on, an event for with arts and culture and talking and just connecting people like realtors around the country. And that, in fact, has been able to breed success because we've been able to refer clients to each other, so we've become referral partners as well. And it's so beautiful because it all started, again, going back to, our network presidency together and being able to just say, hey, listen, this is an area that I've struggled in, how can we do this better? Or what are you guys doing over there in, Colorado? Or what are you doing over there in Orlando? Or what are you doing in San Fran? How is it that I can connect and grow, or think out of the box or do something? You don't have to recreate or reinvent the wheel, right? And so we were able to put on events together just through that, and being able to stay connected has been so beautiful because you're able to hop on and, with a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and say, listen, I'm having a rough time today. How do I get through this? How do I get through that? And be transparent and not have to run from your current, trials and tribulations, and be able to talk through it and build strong partnerships. So the power of collaboration has blessed me incredibly. And that's all through the council.
That there's so many things that you just said there that I just want to take note of for our audience out there today. You were in Leadership Institute. Mm-hmm. You were network president in what year?
2020.
2020. Okay. And then the power of collaboration, where you connected with leaders via Zoom or however you did, and you were able to lift each other up. But then what happened? It turned into a referral. So not only did it help your personal leadership growth, but then it also helped your business in a monetary way. And that is so important in Women's Council, because as we're building our leadership ladder up, we're also building our professional business up at the same time. So I love that you were able to give to both of those at the same time. I believe that is just a gift of the Women's Council that we are learning year in year again. So awesome. That is so cool that you did that, Kashana.
And it's such a good opportunity, because I think sometimes, we look at the struggle, or we look at things from a perspective of, I have to do this alone, or how am I going to get through this, but I think when all is said and done, you change your perspective, and what you're looking at changes, right? So being able to know that you're not alone, that there's people that are all across the nation that are here, with so many networks that are going through exactly the same thing that you're going through, that may have a void or a need. And it's just literally taking the time to invest in yourself, invest in your business, go to the conferences, meet the people, and build those relationships, going back to watering those trees.
Definitely.
Just like with me right now.
Yeah. We're going to water our tea right with our teapot.
Just like you're doing with me right now, because when you think about it, and in the way that you're lifting people up along the way is so important, because leadership is about shining a light on others and pulling those people up that you're walking with, and remembering that it's not about you. Sometimes what comes our way is not even for us. It's for us to be able to share with somebody else to make their walk lighter,
I love that. And I love shining a light on other women leaders and men as well. And so I'm so honored again to have you on the show today. Now I'd like to talk to you about your mentors. So if you could talk about a mentor that's really helped you in your leadership journey, becoming the servant leader that you are, and that influence that has impacted you.
Yes, absolutely. So I actually have a couple of mentors. I have mentors for different areas of my life. Okay. someone that has been very impactful for me as far as public speaking and presentation, just with her sense of grace, with her sense of honor, and her sense of love for other women, is our previous national president, Ms. Pamela Banks. Yes, shout out to
I
Pamela
love
if you're
Pamela.
watching. Shout out to Pamela if you're watching. She has impacted me so much. I remember from our installation when I was an events director, she was there, and she was one of the first women that I ever saw go on stage and deliver an inspiration like it was nobody's business. She was so raw, so authentic, so graceful. And I didn't even see her like look down on a paper or anything. She just delivered it with so much excellence. And I remember her walking off stage and me thinking like, wow, I want to be like that level of like power and confidence. And, that level of like, I want to rise to that level of excellence and expectation. And so when she got off stage, I told her, I was like, you move me not only with your words, but with the way that you graced and you motivated me, and you never looked at a paper. I thought it was so amazing. And so ever since then, I've watched her from the sidelines. I've picked her brain for a couple of things. And most importantly, I just have really dug into or leaned into the way that it doesn't matter where you go, what room you walk into, whether she's in the back of the room and she raises her hand to walk up to just say one thing, like her level of wisdom and understanding of not only lifting other women up, but our industry is really admirable. And so that's somebody that I lean into or have leaned into in the past. And also, another leader, Florida leader, is our incoming president for 2023, Charmaine. She's someone that has incredibly impacted me behind the scenes. I call on her for certain things. I've, called on her for decisions that I've had to make, or, just navigating through things. And she's always been so supportive, so helpful, so there. Doesn't matter what time you call, what's happening, she picks up the phone or she gets back to you within a short period of time. And she's reliable. Her level of credibility for leadership is seen, known, and valued throughout the state, and the people that she connects with, and that's again, being able to lean into people for different things, whether it's public speaking that I want to learn from, or I have a different mentor that leads me, with my health, with my health journey. I had a little bit of a setback last year health-wise, and I had to start, a year-round treatment program. And I found out that I had a condition from birth that I wasn't even aware of, a brain condition. And it was very impactful for me. I found when I had an incident in the office and I was rushed to the emergency room, and that was, it changed the trajectory of everything that came after that, my commitments, the things that I had to do, and the way that I had to learn about my body. And so I was able to lean into someone for that. And so, mentors for different areas of life, but just making sure that continuing to remind myself, like, I'm human, I'm a person, self-care is the best care, no matter who we're leaning into and what's happening with all the roles that we play. It's important for us to make sure that health is a priority for me in this season, and understanding that you can take on but so much. No is a powerful word. Delivering the excellence that Jesus had, let your yes be yes, let your no be no. And sometimes we just need to hear that, so.
Definitely. Oh my gosh, I love that. And yeah. And during my visit to Florida to meet you, we got to shoot a little video together and have some private conversations and get to know you better. And I wanted to hear more about your community involvement, because I was so touched about how you dive into your community personally and you give back. So if you could talk about that, Kashana.
Yes, absolutely. So I am very involved with my church. I attend a church called Cool Church. Shout out to my people. Cool stands for created out of love. And so, I have incredible pastors there that lead the spearhead the ship, and we do life, we do community with our people. We have connect groups, and so I lead there to a certain extent on the weekends, and then I'm also very involved with giving back through an organization that I volunteer with called Spark Her Change, that I serve on the board with. And Spark Her Change is an organization that provides bags of hope to women in need. And so I have served as on the board there since 2015, since its founding year. And those bags are filled with toiletries so that the women that we serve can have an outer refresh, with Bibles so that they can learn about God's love, and then with journals so that they can journal through their healing. And a lot of the women that we serve are women that have been sexually trafficked, abused. Some of the women we don't even get to meet. We just partner with organizations locally, and they'll deliver the bags to them. One of our partners is the Miami-Dade Police Department. So a lot of the times when the women are picked up for prostitution or trafficking, they're given one of these bags. And just the growth of the organization, but more so the growth of my heart and myself, and understanding the impact that sexual trafficking is happening. And it's happening in our own backyards, and understanding the impact of being able to partner with these organizations that help these women has been so life-changing for me, for my family, and many volunteers that serve alongside us. And I'm just honored that God chose me to be a part of it. And those are the two major ways that I give back to my community and in self. I mean, we say, right, like we give back, but to be able to how much we take is, or how much we are refreshed, is so much bigger than what we give, at times. So just seeing how God has carved my life through being able to, do his work and give back to others has been amazing.
Wow. That is so impactful. I have gone to the Dream Center in Arizona, and I haven't worked, but I participated, and Ashley and I, my daughter, because we're a mother-daughter team, are giving to the Dream Center. And my husband is actually looking at donating products to build a room. And wow, did that touch my heart and open my eyes when I went there. It is very moving. So thank you so much for doing that, because we need to protect the ones that sometimes can't fight for themselves. So thank you, Kashana. That is huge that you do that.
I didn't know that. I just learned that about you. That's phenomenal. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my husband's a general contractor. And so I'm like, oh, we can do this together. And so as a family, we're going to definitely give back. It's something that really touched my heart when I went there. I was crying when I left, because you can't believe that this happens in our communities, in our own backyards, just like you stated. And so thank you for doing that, because we have to stand up and help. We have to help our fellow humans that aren't able to help themselves at certain times in their life.
Absolutely. And Stacey, I always say, it could be any one of us at any time. I think the one biggest misconception that I had in my mind is that looked a certain way, and I remember the first time that we went out on an outing, one of the women that we met had just gotten to this country like few months before. But she was a doctor in her country, and her level of speech and her, her education, like she's like, I have children, and I just fell into the hands of someone that didn't love me and manipulated my mind and, mistreated my heart. And that is something that is it seems so surreal and out of contact, but it can happen. I mean, it's doctors, it's lawyers, it's people, you think it has to look a certain way, and it really doesn't, so it's somebody's sister, it's somebody's mother. So definitely shining a light on that is something that is huge for me.
Definitely, definitely. And like you had stated, and they told us at the Dream Center, it's not in that area of town, it's in every area of town at every level of housing. And that's what's so important, that we remember that, because it's happening everywhere. So thank you so much for doing that work in your community. That helps so many people. Now I want to shift our direction just a little, and I want to talk about the power of influence and how you have been influenced through the council, and it's helped you shine a light on other women.
Yes, absolutely. So, first of all, I always think about what John Maxwell says, that influence is leadership and leadership is influence, right? And so, when you talk about leadership and you talk about, the importance of understanding how to lead ourselves first, right, before we can lead anybody else, and being able to have that influence has been amazing in the sense that you get to bring other people with you, right? I remember um, learning from someone, my previous mentor, always telling me, like, who are you bringing with you? Even if it's, in the council, we think about, okay, making a list, or, making a to-do list for an event list, or making, doing this budget. Like, who are you bringing with you? Is it the future treasurer that you are kind of starting to pour into, even though you haven't identified them as a network treasurer yet? Or is it the future events director that can now be an events project team leader, and being able to build that trust, because people like us, there's certain people that like Stacey, that Stacey has influenced, that trust Stacey, that other people may not have that same level of influence over them, right? And so understanding that God is extending that person to you to be able to maneuver through and help lead them in this season, right? And the importance of other people doing that for you, because we're all connected, we're all a big circle, right? So understanding the power of that and being able to carry that out continuously on the good days, on the bad days, on the days where you want to lead, and on the days where you don't want to lead, because that is not always going to be something you feel like doing, right? Let's face it.
Yes.
We're all human. But that's again, going back to iron sharpens iron. That's what keeps us sharp. That's what keeps us, intentional in our decision making. And just being able to see the fruit of the hopefully, I'm making those that have walked, before me, I stand on the shoulders of incredible greatness from our network. That I was told I am the first Hispanic woman to fill the shoes of local network president in almost 60 years in our network. And so that was huge, praise God, that was so big. And understanding that the people that come after us, our president-elect was the first, we were told, the first Black woman to fill those shoes, so understanding that the network starts to take a different shape because of that, and some things, of course, are done influentially and intentionally, and some, it helps to shape us and our character and everything that we're doing. So
Absolutely.
I'm so blessed to be a part of such an awesome, not only network, but state leadership, and the way that our as the largest state of membership networks, it's so incredible to see over the years our state rise and come, I think we're just over 1,700 members now within Florida, which is incredibly impactful. And just to be able to carry that into the first leadership program that we have within our state, and being a part of that has been really awesome. We're in year 2. And we have a little baby National Leadership Institute program here within our state. And so it's so great to see people that have come alongside the ride. Last year, we had 10 graduates. This year, we'll have 9. And I'm excited to be able to share that this year. But I've learned so much more from them, I'm sure. I don't even know if they know it, but I've learned so much more from them. And as we lead others, we in self grow so much. So thank you for the opportunity to share today, Stacey.
Definitely, definitely. I want to ask you what piece of advice you have been given from incoming leadership that has really impacted your growth.
I think one of the things that I always keep in mind is like stay, be Kishana, be you. I think, when you are trying to be somebody else or fill the shoes of someone else, you're uncovered. It's told, you can't keep up, and your people will come to you at the right time, and you'll find your people, but you can only find your people and your honest, true tribe that is there for you, that's going to love you through when you're able to be yourself, and so I'm no good when I'm trying to be Stacey and lean into Stacey and, trying to fill the shoes of Stacey. I'm good when I'm being Kishana, and the people that are meant for you to cheer you on and to support you and to wow you and to be mentored by you or mentor you will always find their way to you, and I'm a firm believer of that. And I think sometimes, even if you're the only one that looks like you in the room, it's important to be yourself, and that's what I
Wow, I
stand
love
for.
that. I love that, Kashana. That is amazing.
Thank you.
This is my favorite question of all time. Were you born a leader?
I wasn't. I firmly believe that leaders were made. I believe that your leadership comes from your experiences and what you go through. I have parents that are incredible leaders within their respective industries and spaces. My father is leaving now in heaven. My mother is leading in her retired life. But I will tell you that I don't believe anybody's born a leader. I really believe that your leadership is extended to you based on your circumstances and how you respond. We can't control what comes our way. We can control only how we respond. And so, I think in learning and understanding that, we got to stay students, right? And really stay students, because there's the only growth that we experience is by being able to say, we praise publicly, and we learn or give instruction privately, right? But I think
Yes.
understanding that through taking that instruction and applying, and learning and that growth, that's how our leadership stands out from others. So I think that's the important part. In short, no.
I love that. It's a tricky question.
It is. How about you? Do you think you were born a leader?
Um, I, I think, it was a little bossiness on the playground when I was little, and then
Yeah.
it, developed into leadership.
Listen, I
But I
feel
totally
you.
agree with you. I totally agree with you that it is a learned process, and definitely I think in my past life, I had leaders that probably weren't the best leaders. And so when I know they weren't the best leaders, but when I got involved with Women's Council, I learned what a servant leader is. And so that's why I always refer back to the servant leadership, and that everybody's journey is different, but it's really about others and lifting others up. And just like you had expressed before, Kashana, when you're in a program of leadership or an academy or an institute or lead like you're doing there in Florida, you're learning just as much as the student is. And they may not know that, but we know that because we can see it in ourselves. And that's what is like the secret sauce, I think. And it fills my soul tank. And so that's why it makes me want to do more, because it just makes you feel so good to know that you can have that influence. And at the same time, bonus, we are growing at the same time, right?
Yeah, amen. And that's that, we should not stop. Students for life.
Yes. Oh, yeah. We have to be lifelong learners, right?
Yes, for
That's
sure.
it.
For sure. This is so fun. Cheers.
I know we are ending really quick here, but I feel like I could talk to you all day about your leadership. But I would like to have you, I know we'll get our teacups up here one more time. I
Yeah.
would love to hear you just talk about the LEAD program that you are facilitating, you're a part of in Florida, and what that influence looks like for your state of Florida and what that's doing, because this is super, super important.
Yeah, so LEAP is an awesome opportunity for anyone that is interested in leadership. And what we do is we identify people that are walking through, there's an open call, and there is, LEAP stands for Learn, Expand, Acquire, and Prepare. And I think it's the importance of the LEAP program is to be able to provide these participants or the certain class with opportunities for them to develop in speaking, public speaking, opportunities in leadership, like they're the ones that do our state inspiration, our Pledge of Allegiance, any opportunities that we have for usually social media or things that are extended to them. And we do a couple of other projects. We have one main project that they deliver throughout the year that they put together, and it changes every single year. This past year, it was for them to deliver an educational session, which was incredible. All three teams blew it out of the park. But I think being involved, whether it's yes, shout out to the LEAP class.
That's right.
But whether it's with this one or with any other one, any leadership program, I think the importance of it is just to be able to understand collaboration, because there's such power in collaboration, understanding that they're not working alone, and being able to take constructive criticism, right, and be changed through that, and understand what that looks like. I know some of them received constructive criticism from our president, Paige, our state president, to be able to tailor, and from ourselves, myself and the co-chair, Addie, to be able to tailor their presentations for delivery for our national, state convention, rather, that just took place in August. So I think the learning has been really great over the years. This is the second year, and it's such an awesome opportunity for someone that wants to be set apart, because you are really set apart. We have over 1,700 members and there's only 9 positions for LEAP this year. So it is someone that is able to be set apart and understands, there's a commitment, there is a time commitment that you're working with, your team members. We do Zoom calls, so they've been exposed to certain speakers. We had our national president here in January, so they had a one-on-one chat with her. And then we also have our 2023 president, national president, that was just here as well. So the importance of being able to develop those relationships, and be guided through by mentors and the chairs and the leadership line, and people that are very, very proud of them at this point. So they'll be having a graduation lunch in January. And so applications are open by next month, they'll be open September for the 2023 space. But we're really happy to be to have launched that program now in its second year, and the first one in the nation to do it. So, and if there's anyone that's listening from any other states that is interested in doing something like that, reach out to us and let us know. There's power in collaboration, and we'd love to be able to walk you through it.
Definitely. I see Bobby Stardust from Las Vegas, and she is asking, is LEAP nationwide? So I'm going to encourage her to reach out to you and get some more information about that, Kashana. So maybe that's something that she wants to, collaborate and implement in her state with Allison Wax up there in Las Vegas, Nevada. So that would be great. Yeah, that would be wonderful. And how many students do you have in your LEAP program?
So last year it was 10, this year it's 9.
9. Okay.
Yes. So we do have, it is something where you do have to fill out a formal application. And so applications will be out in September. And the class will be mentioned. And then of course they'll know going into the year, of course, they'll get communication from the upcoming chair, Addie Owens. So super
Okay.
about that.
I met Addie when I was just in Florida. That's wonderful. In Arizona, we have just started this year, and we really got information from Faith Reed and Tammy Knoll on a leadership program that they do. And we started that this year under our state president, Shauna Huseman. And so we have a leadership academy, and we're really excited. We have 19 candidates in ours, but it's just wonderful to be able to offer that leadership and be able to give that to our state to increase our leadership. So I love being a part of that as well.
Yes, that's awesome. That is so good. And you get to, again, as you're pouring into others, you're learning so much. So just, it's been beautiful to see everybody's journey from January when we first got together and started till now, and understanding and recognizing that a lot of those leaders are leading in other areas as well. They're leading in their communities, they're leading through NAR and committees, they're leading through Florida directors. So it's really awesome to see and experience. And of course, when we see each other, it's like, oh, the council, because the council brought us together. So I love my women's council sisters.
That's the thread that connects us all, right? Through all of our different leadership ventures. And I love that. And so I just want to thank you personally so much, Kashana, for everything that you do for the council, for your community, for being you. And I'm so honored to be able to shine a light on you today, sister. You're amazing, and you are changing the world. So we thank you so very, very much.
Thank you, Stacey. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for what you're doing. And thank you for being able to reach out to women and provide this national highlight, through Facebook, and just being able to take a moment to do this, right? To cheers with somebody else, to celebrate somebody else. That means a lot to me, and I'm sure to the people that you're interviewing. And it is all goes back to the power of the council, right? So thank you for empowering and from leading and for influencing others the way that you are. Cheers to you.
Cheers to all of us in the Women's Council. And let's just remember that we need to lift others as we are climbing too, and not to break that chain. So thank you so much, Kashana, for being on Sip with Stacey. And we'll see everyone in 2 weeks for our next interview. So thank you so much, Kashana. Have a wonderful, blessed day. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you, you too.
Okay, bye-bye.